Well, hi, friends. I want to introduce you to one of my absolute favorite millennial leaders in Canada, Elyse Brouwer. Elyse and I had an opportunity to meet each other and become a bit of friends working on a project together. And this Gen Xer just fell in love with her heart, her skill, her mind. Elyse pastors in British Columbia along with her husband, Christian. And so I want to welcome her to One Church CO. Hey, welcome to our church family.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. It's so good to be with you guys. And this millennial really has enjoyed working with you on the things that we've worked on in the past. I think the world of you guys there. I love what you guys do. I've been following some of your series online, so it's great to join you guys today.
Thanks, Elyse. Well, you're talking to all the generations here at this church. We're a multi-generational church. And I would like you to specifically talk to our generations about maybe what it is about millennials we should know. What makes you different? And what should we be aware of with the millennial generation?
First things first, we're not actually that young. I think sometimes people have this idea of millennials in their heads. You know, they're 20 somethings or late 20 somethings living in their parents' basement or whatever. There's kind of this stereotype or caricature out there of what millennials are. But in reality, there are some millennials that are actually in their 40s.
Mm.
you know and so actually this stereotype of these young kind of people who are bumming off their parents or young people who are still kind of trying to find their way, I mean, that's not really accurate. A lot of millennials have families, or they're starting families, they're settling down. Many of them have been in the workforce for over a decade, and a lot of them are in positions to be leading in significant positions in their workplaces or their churches. There's also this idea that millennials just aren't coming to church. I mean, there's lots of reports out there about how millennials and the millennial generation in general is becoming a whole lot less religious. I think they say that 4 in 10 are not. 4 in 10 go to church, or 4 in 10 aren't going to church. And while there is a pattern of decline in terms of church attendance, I don't think that's the full story when it comes to millennials and religion. Dr. Joel Thiessen, who is a sociologist at Ambrose University,
Right.
and he's done studies on how younger people relate to the church. He said when people join religious groups, they join because of the community that they have with others, even before they understand or embrace the particular beliefs or behaviors of that group. And I think that really speaks to the millennial heart. It speaks to this relationality, this priority of relationship for millennials. I've worked with young adults for a while now, and so that includes some Gen Z, but for a long time, it's been mostly millennials. And I think I really see that before people, start to subscribe to, not even subscribe to, but before they start to really dig in deeper to the Bible or dig in deeper to God's word, they really are looking for that sense of belonging, that sense of, I can be myself here.
Right,
I'm
right.
this sense of connection. What I hear over and over again from young adults that start attending our church is that they love, the fact that it feels like family. It feels like a place where they belong, and people ask them, how they are. They connect with them. There are older people who really take the time to invest in their lives and be involved in their lives. And so that makes a huge difference. That makes a really big difference, that relationality. I think that also speaks to the social justice,
Right.
the social justice factor. I think
Right.
it's funny because I think millennials get a bad rap sometimes for being, they get disparaged or mocked sometimes for being like social justice warriors or keyboard, whatever,
Right.
right? Like,
Right.
but behind all of that, I think there's this heart of compassion. I think there's this heart of care and concern for the people that lie behind a lot of the issues that we're discussing.
What would you hope that maybe the boomers that are listening, what would you hope that they would know about you guys? And what would you hope Xers would know? Or even Gen Z that's following you, which is very different from you guys. What would you wish they would know about millennials?
I think it's really important for boomers to know we're not looking to start a hostile takeover. It might feel like that. It might feel like that as millennials sometimes. I know that we millennials, we can be really passionate about what we're passionate about.
Mm.
And I think also it's important that we're given the space to be able to do what what we feel is the right call, or what we feel is wisest to do in the season that we're living in. um, that space is important as well, because we're not necessarily looking to be told what to do, we're looking to be guided. I would say to Gen Xers, I think it's similar. I think we need mentorship, we need people who are willing to champion us and invite
Mhm.
us to the table. A lot of Gen Xers are starting to fill those, they're in leadership positions like yourself, Jonathan,
Right, right.
where you can bring millennials to the leadership table. You can, invite them and help them to get the experience they need for later on, or even mentor them for the roles that they're in right now. um, I think that's really important, for Gen Xers to be really to be champions for millennials.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah.
something that we would really love.
What do you wish Gen Z would know about millennials?
I don't know that we've been very good at paying attention to the generations that come after us, just because we've
Mm,
been so focused on those positions of influence, those roles of influence at, the leadership tables that maybe we felt like we should have, but we don't have. But actually, one thing that I would say is, to Gen Z, this is your time to create, to try things, to do things a little differently, and to help shape the future. So please do that because we need that. But one thing I do love, and I do want to say this, one thing I love about us millennials is that we really value mentorship as a whole. As
mm,
a whole, we
mm.
love mentorship. We really value it. We think it's important. We love investing in people's lives. And what I would really love to see as a whole is us as millennials dialoguing, and even now starting to mentor and be mentored by Gen Z. Like, let's not wait until we're in our 50s and 60s and our 30s and late
Right.
20s. Right? Like, let's not wait. Like, let's start that now.